Good morning, Malta and Gozo. Both the Prime Minister and the Archbishop have condemned the massacre of civilians in Gaza. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Sunday that a deal could soon be reached on the release of hostages held by Hamas. This and more now in Bonġu News. The Labour Party leads by 9,000 votes over the Nationalist Party, the first political survey after the budget presentation shows. Only last month, the Nationalists were in pole position by nearly 5,000 votes. Malta Today's November survey shows that the PL enjoys the support of 49%, an increase of 5 points over October. The PN stands at 45.4%, a slight decrease of 0.4 points, while other parties collectively poll 5.6%, that's a decline of almost 5 points. If elections were held now, voter turnout would be at an all-time low of 69%, with 31% of respondents saying they wouldn't vote. 38% said they trust Prime Minister Robert Abela the most, while opposition leader Bernard Gregg is most trusted by 23.6%. Among Labour voters, Abela's trust rating stands at 66%, while only 46% of PN voters trust their party leader most. Uncontrolled population growth and Labour's bulk buying of foreign workers strained the country's resources, Bernard Gregg said. The opposition leader said the PN would implement a new economic model that does not depend on a large influx of labour migrants. He said it was clear the country could not keep adding to its population, as Malta could not afford a larger population than its 500,000 people. The Labour government was failing Malta in every sector, Gregg said, citing issues in public healthcare, education and the justice system. Self-defense cannot turn into a retaliation that massacres innocent children, Prime Minister Robert Abela said on Sunday. Abela appealed for a permanent ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war that has killed more than 11,000 people in Gaza, mostly civilians. He condemned the terror attacks by Hamas against civilians in Israel on 7 October that killed 1,200 people. But no terrorist attack, or rather no act of self-defense, can ever turn into a retaliation that massacres innocent children and their parents, civilians, and causes such incalculable loss of life, Abela said. Archbishop Charles Scicluna has also strongly condemned the massacre of civilians in Gaza and of the 4,000 children among them. In his Remembrance Day sermon, Scicluna emphasized that one had to condemn those who killed 1,200 innocent people in Israel on 7 October. We must also condemn those who have caused the deaths of over 10,000 Palestinians, of whom 4,000 are children and babies, he said. However righteous your cause is, there is proportion, there is justice, there are the demands of humanity, Scicluna said. Enough, enough, brothers. Pope Francis reiterated his plea for an end to hostilities between Israelis and Palestinians. He called for the wounded to be rescued immediately, for the protection of citizens in Gaza, and on Hamas to free all the hostages. Regional directors of 3 United Nations agencies have called for urgent international action to end the ongoing attacks on hospitals. The joint statement was issued by the United Nations Population Fund, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, and the World Health Organization. Intense hostilities surrounding several hospitals in northern Gaza are preventing safe access for health staff, the injured, and other patients, they underlined. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told NBC News on Sunday that a deal could soon be reached on the release of hostages held by Hamas. Netanyahu declined to give any further details, saying doing so could thwart the delicate negotiations. And the weather today, expect a windy Monday at 22 degrees. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely day.